Hey, Vintage Vinyl, Scott here. I thought I'd pop in and do a video for you guys today. I was really inspired by Nick doing his video the other day. I thought it was cool that he's trying to maybe revive the group a little bit. So I thought maybe from time to time I would pop in here and do a video for you guys and just add some new content to the group. Hopefully it will help revive the group a little bit, get everybody talking about records. I know everyone here loves records, so it'd be cool to if you guys could make some videos of your own, or comment on this video. You can make your own video about whatever you feel like, or you can make one that's similar to what I'm doing today. There's been a thread going around on YouTube that I thought I would jump in on. I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't really do too much over there. I just don't have a lot of time to really commit to that. Like I said, I do have a few videos over there. I would like to do more over there, but it just, like I said, it takes a lot of time. And, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I kind of want to get into doing that a little more. But for now, I'm just going to make a video for you guys and see how that goes. But the thread I'm talking about that's been going around, people have been ranking the 80's catalog, the KISS catalog, just ranking the studio records that came out in the 80's. And I thought this was an interesting concept because, a lot of people talk about 70's KISS, which is obviously the classic era. But the 80's, was an interesting time for the band because they were going through a lot of turmoil, especially during the beginning of the decade. Peter Criss had left, Ace Frehley had left. There was a number of lineup changes. They took the makeup off, so the 80's is a very interesting decade for the band, and they went through a lot of different musical styles too, trying to figure out what their next step would be, and eventually they came back in a big way once the hair metal and glam metal, whatever you want to call it, started to happen. So that led them to, really new heights for the 80's, that probably some longtime fans were wondering if they would ever, make it back. But anyways, I'm going to rank the 8 studio records that came out in the 80's. Plus, I'm going to also include the 2 compilations that came out in the 80's, because both feature new studio tracks. So I thought I would include those just because they have some new material on them. So we'll get started with the rankings. So that'll be 10 albums we're going to look at. And at the bottom of my list, I actually put the compilations towards the bottom of the list since they aren't full records. And coming in at number 10 is Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. And it has the hype sticker right there. Now this record featured 2 new songs from the band. Let's Put the X in Sex and You Make Me Rock Hard. I think Paul was trying a little too hard at this point to try to be a little controversial with these songs. They weren't that great. I mean, they're fun, but, very, not 2 songs that I really need to listen to very often. And the rest of the record was basically remixes of classic tracks. And, they're not really essential. So that's why this, comes in at number 10 for me. I think it's cool that they, included some new material for the fans, but, it's not really essential, I guess. I mean, if you're a KISS fan, it's essential, but, so there we are at number 10 with Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. And then coming in at number 9, we have KISS Killers. This is much better than Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. This had 4 new songs on it, all Paul Stanley tracks. This came out right after the Elder, which you can tell they have the Elder outfits on here. This is a German pressing, and this was kind of KISS finding their way back to doing hard rock again, because they'd done pop, they'd done disco, than the concept album of The Elder, but this was more straight ahead rock, and this was kind of testing the waters for where they would go moving forward. But it features the new songs I'm a Legend Tonight, Down on Your Knees, Nowhere to Run, and Partners in Crime. Nowhere to Run is probably one of my favorite Paul Stanley songs of all time. It's a great tune. I love it. So that's, if this was a studio record, a full studio record, this would probably be a lot higher, because that song alone is worth the price of the record. So there's the back cover. Like I said, that's a German pressing of that. So that's number 9, Killers. Coming in at number 8, we have Crazy Nights. This one I do like, but the overall production of this one kind of kills it for me. But there are some good songs on it. But yeah, it's just overproduced, too many keyboards. Ron Nevison produced it, which he was very hot at the time, doing Ozzy and Heart and lots of other bands. So this is a Holland pressing, I think. It has this little insert. I thought it was kind of cool, so I included that. So I actually saw Kiss on that tour, and I got to meet them and go backstage, and that was first. Well, I actually had met Gene previously to that, but this is the first time I got to meet, Eric Carr and Paul and Bruce. So I do have some sentimental attachment to this era of Kiss, but it's just not one of my favorite records. I thought I'd show this version too, because it's got the hype sticker. This is the U.S. press with the hype sticker. So, like I said, I do love this era of Kiss because, like I said, I got to meet them during this time period, and that was like a huge thing for me during that time. And actually, I think Amber may have been backstage at that same show, but we didn't know each other then. I knew her dad, but I didn't know. I mean, I could have met her back then. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I know she was back there. But anyways, here's Crazy Nights in at number 8. Number 7, Hot in the Shade. Again, this is a U.S. press with the hype sticker. There's the back cover. This record definitely has some high moments on it. I mean, it's pretty good, but there's way too many songs on it, I think that if they would have trimmed this one down, it could have been a more solid record. It's basically demos that they kind of, fleshed out and stuff, and there's, even some tracks, I think they used a drum machine on it. But we do get Eric Carr's first vocal. Well, he sang Beth on Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, but this is his first, take on, a song that he wrote, and it's on this Little Caesar is on here. So that was kind of cool. I mean, the tour for this was great. I saw it a couple times. The band started, playing a lot of songs they hadn't played in a long time. But I could just kind of have mixed feelings about the record overall. Don't love the cover. It's not one of the best Kiss covers. And like I said, I think it's a little too long. It kind of loses some momentum as it goes on, but it's got some good stuff on it. I think I've warmed up to it more over the years, and I liked it back in the 80s, but it's pretty good, not too bad. So next up we have Animalize. This is the one and only record to include Mark St. John on guitar. He recorded this record with the band, and then he came down with some sort of arthritis in his hands, and he couldn't continue. He played a couple shows with the band. There's the hype sticker for that one. What is this, number 6 here? Animalize. This is pretty strong. It's got some solid stuff on it. Heaven's on Fire was a big hit for the band. I like most of the Paul songs on here. At this time, Gene was kind of more into doing movies and stuff like that. So his songs are, I think I like the Gene songs more now than I did back in the day, but overall, this is a pretty strong record. I like it. Coming in at number 5. Yep, number 5. Asylum. Now, this record here, I really like. This is probably my favorite non-makeup Kiss record. Well, I shouldn't say that, because there's another one coming up. But this is a great record. I mean, it's got the hype sticker here. I saw this tour as well, and I also met Gene at a concert that I went to. He was hanging out at a local mall in a Camelot music store, and I got to meet him before the show. He was in there buying some videotapes or something, and so I got to meet him. So I love this record. I just think it's really good. King of the Mountain's great. Trial by Fire is a great song. Tears Are Falling, Who Wants to Be Lonely. It's just really solid overall. It just has a great feel to this record, and I think it's just one of the better, 80s records from the band. The cover's kind of not great, but I dig it. It's a good one. So, coming in at number 4, which is my favorite of the non-makeup era Kiss records. Look It Up. Now this is the Japanese version, and it features this. A lot of people think it's an alternate cover, but it's really just a slide-on, insert that comes off, and then you got just the regular cover. But I think for the Japanese market, they were still trying to show that they were in the makeup or something, because this was on when you went in the stores. That's what you saw. But this is a great record. Of course, it had the big hit, Look It Up. All Hell's Breaking Loose was another hit for the band. I guess the highlight for me is A Million to One. It's another standout Paul Stanley song. Probably, that's definitely one of my favorite. Kind of like Nowhere to Run. It's up there in the top 10 Paul Stanley songs. It's a great song. But I mean, really, every song on here, Not for the Innocent, Young and Wasted, it's just fits like a glove. It's all pretty good. So, Kiss, Look It Up, number 4. Coming in at number 3, Creatures of the Night. Now, this was a big comeback for the band in their sound-wise. They, after the Elder, they got heavy again, I guess you would say. This is probably one of their heaviest records, actually. But they definitely were finding their way back to being a rock band, after some, experiments along the way. So this is a really solid record. Actually, although Ace is on the cover, he did not play on the record. They had multiple guitar players working on this record. And Vinnie Vincent joined the band during this time. He joined them on this tour, and he also wrote a lot of the songs on this record. So there's the label for that one. It's another Holland press. But yeah, so Vinnie really helped them on this record, helped them, he co-wrote I Love It Loud, which was the single from the record. And yeah, I mean, the album didn't it didn't sell a lot, and the tour, was pretty much a bomb, but it was definitely the band, making a step in the right direction as far as their musical direction went. And it's definitely a fan favorite now. I mean, it just, for some reason, during its initial release, I don't know if nobody cared or noticed that Kiss had a new record out. But now it's regarded as one of their best records, and they just recently released a big box set for it. So it's definitely, the stature of this record has grown over the years. So that's number 3 for me. Number 2, Unmasked. Yeah, Kiss Unmasked. This is a great record. A lot of people don't love this record, but I dig it. It's very pop-oriented record for the band. This is a Japanese press of the record. It's got the OBI over there, and it's got this little sticker sheet in there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this is definitely a more pop record for the band, but some call it power pop, which there are definitely hints of that throughout, but it's just really strong songwriting. I love the production on it. A lot of people think it should be produced in a heavier way, but I think the production really fits the songs, so I wouldn't change anything about it, and I just love pretty much every song on it. Ace is featured heavily. He wrote 3 songs for this record. It's just great, and I wish I could have seen him on this tour, but they didn't really tour in the States for this record. So, and Peter had left by this time, even though he's featured on the cover. Anton Fig played drums on this record, and then we got introduced to Eric Carr for the tour for this record. Even though they didn't tour here, they toured a lot in Australia for this record. So anyways, Eric Carr came in right after this record was released. So if you've been paying attention, you know what my number 1 is. And it is The Elder. This is another import copy. It's got a little insert here. But yeah, music from The Elder. Kiss's attempt at making a concept record and trying to be, they were trying to be taken seriously as musicians. And I love it. I mean, it's my favorite Kiss album of the 80s. I mean, it's in my top 5 Kiss albums of all time, including the 70s records. So I just love the songwriting's great. I just like that they were taking a big chance musically and trying different things. So it's really good. It's always, I got it as a kid as a new release, and I loved it from the get-go. I mean, I knew there was something different about it, and my friends didn't love it. They're like, "Oh man, what happened to Kiss? That record is so weird." And it is a weird record. That's why I like it. I mean, it's not the same old, you know what I mean? And to me, this record holds up. I mean, I can pop this on any day and just listen to it straight through, and it's works for me. So that's my number 1 Kiss album of the 80s, music from The Elder. Alright, so there you have my ranking of the 80s Kiss catalog. In the background, I'm listening to this new Rick Springfield CD that came out. It's an archive release of a record that was never released back in the day. I think it was recorded in 72 or 73. It's pretty cool. I don't buy CDs much these days, but this is the only format this is available on currently, so I picked it up and gave it a listen. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. If you want to do your own Kiss ranking of the 80s Kiss catalog, I'd like to hear what you guys think, and I'm sure it'll be different than mine, and that's what it's all about. I mean, we all like different things and about our favorite bands, and if we all like the same thing, it'd be pretty boring. So anyways, that's all I got for you, and I'll talk to you later.